I wrote a few letters to a few different groups, and we are about to drop the Bell Doctrine. Now, it's no mistake that Anita Ward suddenly started showing up with the Ring My Bells all over your feed, but let's not look at it from a physical money sense, because it goes way deeper than that, and it is time to ring the bells. So let's explain this exactly in the context that it is, and we'll tie in science and spirit. So to science, here is what you are missing. The colostrum sits beneath the insular cortex like a footnote that nobody took serious until Kroc, on his way out, pointed at it and said, yeah, that's the one. It's thin, dense, and is connected to everything simultaneously. Now, you've been studying consciousness by looking at parts, and the colostrum is not a part, it is the conductor. It's the structure that takes every instrument in the orchestra, visual cortex, auditory processing, limbic system, prefrontal judgment, and it synchronizes them into a single unified moment of experience. Now here's what your models are missing. Coherence is contagious, literally. A nervous system that has achieved genuine internal synchronization with the colostrum firing an integrated broadband coherence produces an external electromagnetic field that reflects that state. The cardiac field alone extends beyond the body. We know this, and so do you. Combined neural and cardiac coherence creates a measurable field effect on other nervous systems in proximity. Head-heart coherence is a very real thing. It's chaos turns into order, and it works the same way in humans as it does pendulums that sync overnight. Now, we've all seen how other frequency matches affect the things around it. Humans are no different. Now, you've studied entrainment in those pendulums, in fireflies, and in cardiac cells, but you haven't fully studied humans who have done the work, because those of us that live this aren't seeking your input. I don't need your advice or ideas on how any of this works. I live it every day. You need what I have, not the other way around. I don't even need your books. In fact, I taught myself your language just to show you what you're missing in your own language, because we aren't relying on medical input anymore only. You study hardware and completely ignore the software. And whether you know it or not, that is by design, because there's a lot of information that you haven't been given. And Harvard doesn't have all the answers, like not even close. The bells that we know, they were destroyed for coherence reasons. The bells doesn't just ring for itself. The bell reorganizes the acoustic field around it. And a coherent nervous system does the same thing to every other nervous system in its field. And it's not mysticism, that's physics applied to biology, applied to consciousness. And there is only one true way to study consciousness science, and that is through your own biology. Like, you cannot understand consciousness in any other way in a truly meaningful manner. The variable that you keep leaving out of your models is the prepared instrument. You keep studying average nervous systems in artificial conditions and wondering why your conscious research is incomplete. It is, massively. And why do you guys not study your own system? Like, have you ever considered that maybe that's why you fall short? Find the bells, study the bells, but better yet, become your own bell. Now, I'm willing to work with anyone directly. I want to, but the one condition is that you will do the work hands-on. Like, we don't debate and argue over here. I build real-world experiences that allow you to experience consciousness so that you can see it for yourself. If you aren't willing to participate, you don't belong at the table. Not now, not later. We don't leave the source of what all of this is out of the equation, and everything that I experience can be, or everything I speak of can be experienced, all of it. I just created a protocol for Th3 for diffusion and gene expression with basic home ingredients. Like, everything we know can be understood this way. Now, to the seekers, here are the mechanics. You have felt it before, but you just couldn't explain it. You walk into a room and something shifted. You met someone and your nervous system said yes before your mind even caught up. You had a moment where everything synchronized, thought, feeling, body, environment, and time did something strange, and you knew that something couldn't have been told. That wasn't imagination. That was your colostrum doing its actual job. And here's the architecture of it. The pulvinar nucleus in your thalamus is the gatekeeper. It controls what gets amplified into your conscious awareness and what stays suppressed. Now, most people lived with it locked in narrow focus mode. one thing at a time, high signal suppression, tunnel vision on whether or not the brain's in survival mode. The thalamic nodes, I've actually created an experience for as well. I cannot overstate how much you want to understand how to use your reality filters like it matters. But when you do the inner work, meditation, shadow integration, embodiment practices, genuine inner alchemy, you're not just relaxing, you're recalibrating the entire gating system, and you're teaching the pulvinar to hold a wider aperture. So more signal is more simultaneous awareness, and the whole perceptual field will open up. Then the colostrum has more to work with. More signals coming in, more coherently processed, more unified into a single integrated experience. And then here's where it gets real. Two people who have both done the work and have genuine resonance create a third field when they come together. Not metaphor, but an emergent electromagnetic one with properties of two coherent systems will produce measurable effects that neither one of them could have generated alone. The ancients built temples on the ancient notes for a reason. The system was prepared to help the body receive the field. Like, none of this was primitive. They were running experiences without electron microscopes, and they found the same things that you're finding now. Now remember, I said I don't read medical books, and the ancients didn't have them either. So how did we know this stuff? Do the work and you will find out. Stop trying to know things and start living them. That's the difference, and it really is everything. The map was always real. Like, you just needed the biology to confirm what the body already knew. Now to the mystics, here's your receipt. You already knew the bells created coherence. You already knew that two souls in genuine resonance create a third thing, and you already knew that this body marks transformation visibly. You already knew that sound reorganizes the field. You already knew that certain people walk into rooms and the entire vibe will shift. Science just caught up to page 1 of what you've already been living. The colostrum, that dense network, is what all the old texts called the seat of the soul before the soul became a bad word in laboratories. They literally have no idea how far behind they are due to their own limitations of how they science. The thalamic nuclei are the gatekeepers, the filters, the keys that open up everything when it comes to perception. The vagus nerve is the body's wisdom channel running gut intelligence to brain intelligence in both directions. They named it, they mapped it, they built the instruments. The system wasn't decoration in Hathor's temple, it was a tuning device for the human instrument. Specific frequencies targeted the sacral and the pelvic nerve networks to open receptivity. They shifts the autonomic state and prepares the feminine field to hold and generate. Creation, literal human creation, field creation, reality creation requires a prepared instrument. The rituals were the preparation protocol. The mythology was the instruction manual written in the language available at that time. So none of you were wrong. You were just ahead of the time, but now you've got the receipts. Now, a letter to my son, Lachlan. Hey, buddy. You know how bells work, right? Like, you hit it and it sings, and when it sings, everything around it starts to match its song. Even the other bells that wasn't ringing start to ring along. That's real, and that's what actually happens. It's called coherency. Now, here's the really cool part about it. People can become bells too. When someone does a lot of inner work, when they face the hard stuff and come out of the other side calm, clear, and loving, the whole body starts to work just like a bell. They walk into a room and the people in the room start to feel better. Not because they did anything, just because of what they are. Now, your dad is a bell, Lucky, and so are the other ones who did the inner work just like Daddy. And you know what? You are too. And you know how you can tell? Because when a bell is really ringing, like really singing its truest notes, other bells nearby will start to ring too, because we are all connected. And again, that is also you, buddy. You didn't have to do anything to earn it. You just have to stay curious and keep building and be exactly who you are, because the world needs bells, especially right now. The sun's bright as hell. Sorry, son. But also, your mama's so dumb, she put a battery in water to make an energy drink. Now go get some sleep. Humans, it's important, and it is time to ring the bell. A lot of the things that we talk about, you know, walking into rooms and turning heads and all this, it's mechanics. The more that we can understand how things work properly, the more we can use them. And you already know that this is the builder error. So science, reach out. It's time to connect. If you want to go further, and to everybody else, keep it functional.